Hello, it's Michelle from Unicorn and Centaur, and welcome to the Tuesday night live stream. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I do a live stream every Tuesday night, and it alternates between a crafting / creative live stream where I make things for my horse, and also Tack Chat, which is tonight. Tonight is the Tack Chat, where I drink my wine and I clean my boots and my bridles and saddles and things like that, and chat about the topic of the day. Tonight's topic is anxiety and how it affects you and your horse. There are some of us who deal with anxiety that being around horses makes it better, and then some of us, we love horses, but the thought of being around them sort of makes our anxiety worse, and we have to deal with that. Everybody deals with anxiety in a different way. So that's what tonight is. If you're a longtime subscriber, you may notice that this is my first Tack Chat without a co-host. My friend Casey had a speech tonight to give in Abilene, and so it's just me tonight. I'm going to be cleaning my bridle and actually cleaning my boots too. This Texas red dirt is for real. I am coming to you live from the Art Lab in Monday, Texas, and let me get into the chat and see who's here. Hang on just a second, and then we'll get started. I will pour myself some wine. If you're here, give a shout out in the chat and let me know who's here. Marvel's here, Deanna's here, and Grinios. I hope I'm saying that right. Oh my gosh. Grinios. I feel like Grinios sounds more Greek, doesn't it? I don't know. So the topic tonight is, oh my gosh, I didn't get water in my thing. Liam, hang on, I need my gopher. Rengo, put some water in this for me. Come here. Liam's here waiting. I just made the move from Georgia to Texas. Here, fill it up about this much with water in the sink in the very, very back. Do you want to say hi? So my gopher's going to go get me some water in my container. Oh, and Brittany's here. Hey, Brittany. So I want to see if I can get my wine. Let's get started with wine. I could just drink it out of this and be like super cool. Tonight, I'm drinking a Barefoot Pinot Grigio. Can we even see this? A Barefoot, I can't even see it. The Barefoot Pinot Grigio screw top, so you know it's fancy. The bouquet is subtle with floral notes and a delightful nose. And of course, I have my hand-painted wine glass from Cheval Noir Designs. Adriana, if you're watching, I love you so much, and I miss you, girl. Thank you, Liam. I've got my water. So I have just made the move from Georgia to Texas, and there goes my bridle. And as people probably know, moving a long distance is one of the most stressful things you can go through. I mean, apart from like death and divorce and things like that, moving your entire household is a very stressful thing. So my anxiety has been off the chart. If you're a longtime subscriber, you know that I deal with depression and anxiety. I'm not shy about talking about it. To me, my anxiety, hang on, to me, the way I think about my depression and my anxiety is like the mental version of allergies. Like when people have allergies, it's like your body's immune system attacking itself. Like your body's immune system attacking healthy tissue. And when you have depression and anxiety, that's like your mind attacking your thoughts. Does that make sense at all? And so like with allergies, people who have allergies will avoid triggering situations like going outside during pollen season, or going in, if you're allergic to cats, you might avoid going into someone's home who has a lot of cats. So it's kind of the same thing for me with my anxiety. I tend to try to avoid things that trigger it. Let me get set up. Social anxiety. Yeah, I have that too. Grinius picked a difficult online name. Expect to be lagging again. And if you're joining me, if you're watching this on the playback, I do take time out to read the chat because we've got people who are watching this live, and I am going to be taking questions and talking about stuff. I'm not an expert, by the way. Like, I'm not a doctor. Let's put that disclaimer right here. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a counselor of any kind. I am just an equestrian who deals with mild mental illness issues. So, oh no, Marvel's headphones broke. Oh no, Grindius, if I did my chat at 2 a.m., wouldn't have any lagging. Well, who's going to watch me at 2 a.m. except maybe people on the other side of the world? I don't know. I've got my wine. Now, for some people, alcohol is a trigger for depression and anxiety, and they can't do that. So if that's your thing, have yourself some sparkling grape juice or drink some water, some Gatorade, get hydrated. I don't know. No shame in your game if you aren't drinking with me. So, also, I'm waiting for my husband to get here. Y'all may know me and Liam got here, my son Liam. Me and Liam got here, what, 2 weeks ago, I want to say? Almost 3 weeks ago. And my husband remained in Savannah to take care of some things with our house that's for sale. And he's finally coming here. And he's like, I think I'm going to be there about 8 o'clock tonight. And I'm like, dude, that's when I'm going live on YouTube. So Liam is like at the front door of the art lab looking out for the truck. We may have an interruption and a special guest in our live stream tonight. So I need to actually take off my boots and get started. I'm wearing my boots tonight. Ta-da! Look how dirty these are. I can't wait for him to get here too, because he's got my half chaps and he's got my other boots. I've been wearing these Dublin edge boots and they kind of slip down. They look real piratey and cool. And I'm like, yeah, I look cool when I'm wearing. Even if I don't look cool, I feel like I look cool. But they're not the most practical things. Oh, Britt, you're allergic to hay, dust, pollen, and somehow horsehair. Oh my gosh. But your depression is missing your horse. Oh, I know. Marvel, you better not watch me at 2 a.m. Marvel. You better be asleep. All right, dude. So I need to get started cleaning me some boots. I actually went to the Dollar General today and I got some new rags for the Tack Chat. If you're not cleaning tack, if you don't have a horse or you're not an equestrian, if you don't have boots to clean, you can grab some other random tasks. The reason I do this is because I hate cleaning tack. I feel like it's boring and dumb and So I thought I might as well drink wine and maybe make it a social thing. Like, y'all can't come to my house and do this with me. Not all y'all anyway. But we could do this on YouTube together. So I got these in some very unicorny and centaur colors. There we go. Microfiber scrub cloth. Dun, 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 dun. All right, now we've got all these little plastic dillies to deal with. So if you have anxiety or depression that you deal with and you don't want to talk about it tonight on the live stream, that is totally cool with me. Not everybody is comfortable discussing it. You can just hang out with me and clean something and live your life, and it's all good. But if you would like to share what you go through and how you deal with it, I would love to hear about it in the chat. For me, let's see. First, let me get started cleaning off my boots. I got my big old boot here, and the first thing I'm gonna do is wet my cloth, and then I'm gonna wipe it all down, all the dirt and the dust off of it. Okay, I'm still here. Don't go away. All right. It's amazing how many people deal with anxiety and or depression. I will be continuing to say anxiety and depression because for me, it's like they're almost like two sides of it. It's like a double-edged sword, and those are the two edges of the sword. They kind of go together in my brain. So that's kind of how I think about it. But like I know someone who, I'm not going to mention names. If I talk about you tonight online, I'm not going to mention your name. I do know someone who suffers from anxiety, but doesn't have depression. So that to me is like, how do you do that? But she just gets, her anxiety gets bad about certain things. And, but she doesn't get depression like I do. And my depression, after Liam was born, I had postpartum depression really bad. Like it was bad. It was bad, y'all. It was dark. I cried constantly. It was ugly. I almost left my husband 3 times that first year, and he wasn't even doing anything wrong. It was just ugly. So, ew, this stinks. I think that's pig poop. Y'all, If you already follow me, you already know about Winston, our new pig. And y'all, pigs are stinky. They're stinky, stinky, stinky. I love that Winston though. So what was I talking about? On Tack Chat, when I forget what I'm talking about, I have to take a drink. It was probably something about, oh, my depression. Okay, hang on. I need an international audience. I do, don't I? You don't need to be an expert. You just need to be fun. I do my best. I really do. Oh, Deanna, you're allergic to cats and horses? Girl, what? And you've been getting help recently for OCD, depression, and anxiety. Yeah, that's a crazy combination. And I don't mean that like crazy. I mean like that's a lot to deal with. Also, hey, tonight, this is a judgment-free zone, okay? I'm not going to be talking smack about anyone who is on medication for their anxiety. I'm not going to be talking smack or giving shame to people who are not on medication for their anxiety. However, it's all so individual. So however you are dealing with it, I just want to support you in that place. I want to be here for you, no matter how you're dealing with it. 2 a.m. live would be really cool. Oh, your day ends at 4 or 5 a.m. Ouch, goodness gracious. Yeah, bakeries and you have to be at work early with the bakeries. I have been getting up really early to check on the horses. Back in Savannah, my horses were boarded. And so I never had to worry about it. Like if I didn't want to go there for a couple of days and deal with it, if I had other stuff to do, I didn't have to. But now they're in my backyard and they're on the property that I'm staying in. So they are my responsibility. So it's actually made my anxiety. That's been part of what's made my anxiety go, ah, because I've been kind of obsessively going to check them several times a day. Just to make sure, like the other day, Sunny was lying down and I'm like, oh my God. If you don't know horses, they do lay down sometimes to nap, but sometimes when they lay down for long periods of time, it can indicate gastrointestinal distress known as colic, which can be dangerous and even fatal for horses. So anytime a horse person sees their horse lying down, they're like, no. So I went out there and I'm like pushing on him, Sonny, get up. And he gets up and he's mad at me and he starts trotting around and he's like, fine. But of course I had that moment of, oh my God, my horse is dying. I have to call the vet. Oh my God. Grinius, you have another Centaur friend who lives in Australia. Oh yeah, 8 p.m. Central Time is too late if he's 7 hours ahead. Deanna, you've been dealing with adjustment disorder. I'm not sure what that is. Started making complex lists on how to get through the day. I love lists. I love crossing things off lists. It's very satisfying and it is a very calming feeling to feel like you've gotten something done. Now, but if I'm having a particularly rough day, I will put things on the list like take a shower, eat lunch, because they're easy things for me to do. And then I can cross something off and feel like I've done something and it makes me feel better. Don't make fun of me. No wine for you, Grinios. Symbicort and sleep deprivation. Okay, well, that'll make you loopy then. No, you do not have to drink wine to enjoy the Tack Chat. Oh, I think my husband has just shown up from Savannah, Georgia. Liam has gone outside. There's a U-Haul that's pulled up. We may have a special guest in just a moment. That's been another part of my anxiety, having all my stuff and my husband in another state and trying to figure out how to get him here. And I've been drinking more. Usually I only drink wine during Tack Chat. But since I've been here, I've had a couple of bottles, y'all. So I'm going to let them like hug each other's necks and stuff. And Scott will come in here in a minute. Some of y'all know Scott already. He's been voluntold to be on the live stream a couple times with me before. Yeah. Oh, and Brittany, y'all, of those of you in the chat, Brittany is having to sell her horse or find a new home for her horse, Stormy. And that's been a real source of anxiety for her. He's had a lot of health problems. Britt, if you feel like explaining it in the chat, you can do that. You are welcome to do that. but that can be depressing as well. Now, for me, I joke about my horses being my emotional support animals, but they really are. Some people will talk about how there's no crying at the barn, but I used to always tell my students, I had a couple students in Savannah who had anxiety pretty badly, and I would tell them, you can cry at the barn. The horses don't care, okay? The horses don't care if you're crying. They're fine. They'll get through it just okay. Okay, I have gotten, oh no, I didn't get all the, that still looks gross. It still looks gross. If you are cleaning your boots with me, you do really need to get a lot of the dirt off of things, because if you rub oil into leather when there's still dirt on it, it can leave little scratches and stuff like that. So you want to make sure you get all the dirt and pig poop off of there. Pig poop. Winston, I swear to God, that pig is so funny. If you don't know what I'm talking about Winston and the pig, once we're done with the live stream tonight, get on over to was it the last video I did? Oh my gosh, I'm losing track of time. Where we talk about, we got a pig. I'm gonna make him a unicorn horn too. Maybe next week. Maybe that'll be the crafting live stream next week, is we'll make Winston a unicorn horn. Oh my gosh, y'all. Okay, so Granios gets anxiety at the dentist. Yeah, and when you have to open your mouth like that, it's a very vulnerable position to be in. I totally get that. Yay! Hey, Scott's here, everybody. We are live on YouTube, and I'm already halfway down a glass of wine. Liam knows how to get you to the house, though, if you guys want to just like, good. They may just take off and head for the house and leave me here with y'all. Y'all will take care of me, right? Okay. Adjustment hits you 2 or 3 months after a big change. Ooh, you know what? That may happen to me then. I may go through a little. Deanna, stay with me, honey. Stay with me for the next few months. I may need you. Crazy Aunt Michelle's going to need you. All right. Oh, yeah, Britt, crying at the barn. Yeah. Y'all, seriously, there are Grania's postpartum. Yeah, postpartum was what got me. Michelle, give me some wine. No, dude. You better behave. Marvel, I'm watching you. Okay, Liam is giving Scott a tour of the art lab right now. And let's see, what was I talking about? I may have to get up and hug my husband for a second because I haven't seen him in like almost 3 weeks. So where's my oil? Oh no, I need my saddle soap. Yes. This is the foaming saddle soap that I got at Haskell Feeds. Do I want a fresh, clean? I'm trying to decide if I want a clean rag for that or if I just want to use the one that had the dirt on it. Take beer. I don't like wine. I don't get beer. Beer's like alcohol soda. I don't know. It just, the wine gets me where I need to be. Okay, hang on a second. I am getting a new cloth wet. And I am going to put some saddle soap on my boot. And am I supposed to shake this? I don't even know. Hang on. Wipe off surface dirt with a clean, soft cloth. Done. Gently press on foamer button to dispense foam directly onto article. Rub thoroughly with sponge. Use brush or soft cloth until foam disappears and buff with cloth to a lustrous finish. It doesn't say shake. Oh, excuse me. I'm burping up my wine already. Y'all. All right, hang on. Interesting saddle soap. I know, I've never seen the foaming one before. I've seen them where it's like a little container where you kind of rub the waxy stuff in the container. I've also had like a bar of glycerin soap. So, Alice Through the Looking Glass. I don't know. I haven't seen that one. A gin and tonic. I see you. Oh, Deanna says PM information on the therapist gave Parker when he asked for her help. I was scared to go get help, so he went for me. Aw. Yeah, that's a thing too, you guys. Therapy and things like that, or going to a doctor for anxiety, that in itself can cause anxiety. Part of the reason why I didn't get diagnosed for a long time was because just the act of calling different doctors was anxiety inducing. There's a thing in anxiety called the impossible task. And this is something that normal or neurotypical people don't have any problems doing. Like one of them for me is making phone calls. I have a very difficult time making phone calls, and other people just make them. And like some people in my family don't get it. Like my sister's like, why don't you just call? And I'm like, I don't know. But there's something in me mentally that just digs in my heels, and I just freaking can't. Just no, I'm sorry. It's very upsetting. So I don't. And I try to avoid phone calls at all costs. Y'all, when texting became a thing, I was right there with all the millennials. I'm like, yes, please don't call me, text me. Text me. And when somebody gives me something to do that's like texty that I can text or email, I'm like, thank you. So anytime somebody's like, oh, just call them. Wait, what? Just call? There's no just calling in my world. I just can't. So some people have those impossible tasks that they just can't do, and that because it triggers their anxiety. And I totally get that. Different people have different impossible tasks. So, all right, I am working all this into my boot here. I need a little thing to prop my doodle up, my phone up on the chat. So, let's see, Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. We're talking about the movies, but honestly, y'all, the books are so good. They are two different books that usually the movies combine the two different books. Come in here and give me a hug.
Oh my God.
I know, I haven't seen you in like 3 weeks. Hang on 1 second.
All right, we're doing it off camera.
Yes, okay. Well, we can't really do it on camera. Wait, pop in here and say hi, though. Say hi.
Oh my God, I've been on travel for 2 days.
He's had like 4 hours of sleep in the last, what, 2, 3 days?
50 minutes.
15 minutes?
50 minutes of sleep in 20.
Dude.
Yeah.
That is insane.
It was insane.
My husband's been traveling. So you guys are going to head on to the house?
Yeah, we might as well.
Okay, then let's see. What time is it? I'm going to be done here in about 40 minutes with these nice. I'm hanging out with my peeps right now.
Sweet.
And then I will be on my way to the house. There's a towel in there that you can take a shower.
Fabulous.
It's so good to see you. I can't believe this happened on the live stream. I haven't seen my husband in 3 weeks, and it's happening here on the live stream. That's been a big part of my anxiety, too. Tonight on Tack Chat, we are discussing anxiety and how it affects your relationship with your
felt
spouse.
it for the entire trip. I hate driving.
Oh, God, yeah.
Driving a giant U-Haul.
He hates driving. He's going to love it here. There's no traffic here. None.
Oh, my God.
None.
It's amazing.
Like traffic.
There's 3 cars.
10 cars in
Yeah.
an hour.
Yeah.
Why?
It's insane.
That's wild.
We'll talk about it. Don't fall asleep before I get home.
I won't.
Okay. Back to the live stream. Pardon me for this was our intermission here. I hope y'all went to the bathroom or got an extra drink or whatever you had to do. I love you. Be safe. Liam knows the way. You guys are going to be great. Oh, Bud's here. Hey, Bud. Oh, Deanna says, welcome home. So, yes, Bud, yes, we're talking anxiety tonight. If you're just joining the live stream, I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety just after the birth of my son. The postpartum depression hit me hard, y'all. So that was when I got diagnosed. And I am, okay, full disclosure, I am unmedicated. I am not on any kind of medication. I am not in therapy right now. I managed to keep mine at reasonable levels through self-care practices. And one of my self-care practices is napping. I am a champion napper. I will set my phone on my alarm for whatever amount of time I have, and I will become unconscious because napping literally shuts that entire process down. I can have relief from those thoughts for 30 minutes or 45 minutes or an hour or however much time I have. Napping is one of my big ones. Hot baths in the wintertime, that's another one that I like to do. It's a ritual that takes me out of everything I'm doing. Horses are another one of my self-care. Sweetheart, there's massive traffic in Texas. Not where we are, sugar. Not where we are. Dallas and the big cities, yes, but I'm in Monday, Texas. The population here is 1,300 as of the last census. And there's one traffic light in this town, and it's flashing yellow all the time. There's one gas station. There's a Dairy Queen. There's a Dollar General. There's a couple of cute little mom and pop stores, a couple little cute clothing stores and stuff, but there's like one main strip. It's got everything you need here, but not a bunch of everything. It's just little, and it's perfect, and it's lovely, and there really is no traffic. Bud takes Prozac. Yeah, if you've got medication for your anxiety, hey, do that. I am all about better living through chemistry. So I find, hang on, I need one more bottle. I can't drink the whole bottle tonight though, y'all, because I got to take myself home. This is it. I'm going to just cap this right here. And like I said at the beginning of the live stream, for those who just joined us, for some people, alcohol exacerbates their anxiety symptoms and their depression symptoms. If you're one of those people, please don't drink wine with me on this live stream. I don't want that for you, and I know you don't want that for you, so don't. But hang on. So I remember last time when Casey was here, and she was like rubbing the saddle soap into things with her hands, and I'm like, darling, don't you want to like use a rag or something? Oh. So, yes, I do. A lot of my friends who have anxiety are on medication. And if you aren't on medication and you're trying to get on medication, it can be an arduous process because there are many different medications for depression and anxiety. And finding the right one for you can be a little bit frustrating, and it makes you want to give up. Okay, hang on. I'm going to make sure I've got everything clean on this. There's that boot. All right. So now one of my friends who I have not seen in the live stream tonight, but if she's lurking, I'm not going to mention you by name, but she wanted me to discuss how sometimes being with your horses, even though you love horses so much, and you have a riding lesson or you have your own horses, just the thought of going to them can trigger your anxiety. And there's a lot that you have to overcome to just go. And I wanted to say there are some times where I get completely overwhelmed, like totally overwhelmed, and I can't ride. I will go out. I even did this. There were times even in Savannah when I had a 40-minute drive to get to my horses where they were boarded. I would drive for 40 minutes and my anxiety would be so bad that I could not ride. Oh, hang on. I think the front door is coming open. I'm going to have to pause for 1 second. Hang on, guys. They didn't close the door all the way, and I gotta close it. Okay. Don't go anywhere. I'm coming back. Here I come. Here I come. Here I come. Sorry. Okay. When they left, they didn't like totally close the door, so it was like blowing open. At first, I thought someone was coming in here, and I was like, I'm gonna get you. I haven't been to Taekwondo class since I got here, but I remember how to do it. What was I talking about? Oh. Hang on, when I forget what we're talking about, I have to take a drink. Oh yeah, when I go out there, there are times when I literally couldn't even. I would make that 40-minute drive out to the barn, and I would get out there, and I would be so anxious that I couldn't ride. And it happened several times where all I would do is walk out into the paddock and just put my hands on my horses. Just touch them and just smell that horse smell and breathe the horsey breath and tell them I love them and cry into their manes. That sounds so teenage angst, doesn't it? Like crying into my horse's mane. But that's literally what I would do. I even did that. I've done that twice, I think, since I've come out here. I have told myself, sorry, hang on. I've told myself that I have to work my horses. I have to be there for my horses. But when I get out there, it's like I can't. And so I just sit there with them. I just sit there and I talk to them. And I try not to feel guilty for that, because one of the things that I don't know if people talk about this a lot with anxiety is guilt. Because I feel guilty that I'm not working my horses every day. And oh my God, I can't believe I'm crying on the live stream. What the hell? Hang on. One of the things that's difficult about anxiety is the guilt feelings. We feel guilty that we aren't normal. We feel guilty that we can't do basic things like, how stupid am I that I can't just put a saddle on this horse and ride? I've done it 800 million times before. What is wrong with me? That's the thought in my head. What is wrong with me? And then I feel guilty because I can't. And to someone else on the outside, they might be looking at it like, you know, why can't you? Why don't you just? That's one of my pet peeves about people talking to me about anxiety is when they start a sentence with, why don't you just? Like I haven't thought of whatever they just said, you know? Anyway, so since I've been here, my anxiety has been pretty bad, and I don't expect it to be this way forever. This has been a huge life change for me. And I know some of you out there are going through huge life changes yourself. You're getting divorced, or your parents are getting divorced, or your kids are getting divorced. You're moving from one state to another and uprooting everything in your life. Someone really close to you maybe just died. These are all triggers that make everything even worse than before, and things that normally bring you pleasure and help you can actually turn around and kind of turn against you. Oh my God, I need more wine. Hang on. I gotta clean my other boot before I go completely crazy. Okay, hang on. I gotta hold myself. Oh, Taylor's here and Lauren. But depression talking, motivation is hard. Yes. And that's why I kind of talk about like for me, I have mild bipolar disorder. It runs in my family. And so I don't get manic. I get what's called hypomania. And that's where I get really creative. And I can also get very irritable during these times. I interrupt people a lot. I have trouble completing a thought. But these are times when I have real bursts of creative energy. And I really move projects forward in my life in these times. And then I can flip over to depression, where it's very difficult just doing basic things like sleeping and eating. Like I'll be up at 2 a.m. eating cheese and like posting memes on Facebook, and that's not really self-care. So yes, there's only so much of me to give. All right, hang on. I got to get back up here in the chat. I haven't been here for a while. Hang on. Marvel, take a pill for depression. That's good, though. That's good that you've got things that you're doing. Liam told me tonight that he had my permission to discuss things that he goes through. My son is 11 years old, and mental illnesses of one type or another run on my side of the family and my husband's side of the family. So ever since Liam was born and I was diagnosed, I've been kind of watching him for symptoms, and he shows symptoms of anxiety a lot. There are thoughts that get in his head that he can't kind of get rid of, and they get under his skin and they bother him. He gets overwhelmed by his emotions sometimes, and it embarrasses him. So I don't feel like he's at any kind of point where he needs medication, but he may need that in the future. And so I want to be open to that as well. Anyway, oh my God, you guys, I think I pulled myself back together. Hang on. Virtual zookeeper. Haven't ridden in a long time because I'm still horrified of losing control. Yes, you know, I said I wasn't gonna name names, but my sister, when I was a teenager, she's 3 years younger. Was she 13? I don't know. My sister broke her arm riding. A horse threw her into a wall and she broke her arm. And after that, she did not go back to horseback riding lessons. And it was a long time before she got on a horse again. And to be honest, every time I fall, that next ride, I get back on immediately. It's not the getting back on that's the problem for me. It's the next ride. The next ride is every time, even if it was a dumb fall. Like last time, what was my last fall? It was on the trails in Savannah, and Weasley spooked at a falling pine cone. It was like a pine cone falling in the forest. And he freaked out and jumps in the air and wheels around to go back to the barn. And I like hung onto the side like a sand spur for a second and then thunk right down on the ground. And I found a stump to get back on him because I can't mount from the ground with a butt this big. Get out of here. But I found a stump to stand on and get back on him and got back to the barn, and that was fine. Everything was great. But the next time I came to the barn, oh my God, y'all, it was crazy. So that's what tends to happen to me. Okay, hang on. Who else is here? Oh, Ruby's here. Hey, Ruby. Schizophrenia and bipolar runs in my birth family. Marvel. Yeah, then it's, again, this is not anything. There used to be a time when there was a serious stigma associated with mental illnesses. But now that we're understanding things a little bit more, we know it's nothing to be ashamed of. This is like things that are happening to you. When people say it's all in your head, I'm like, I know. Anyway, hang on. I've lost track of where I'm supposed to be in my boot cleaning endeavors. Did I get both of my boots done? I don't think I did. Which one did I do and which one didn't I? This one is clearly clean. This one needs cleaning. Okay. I think I've caught up now, y'all. Think I'd rather drive high on acid than on sleep deprivation. I'm not going to comment on that. I love you too, Ruby. I'm so glad you're here. Art is another thing. Ruby is an artist. Ruby's here in the chat, and she's a brilliant painter. And art is one of the things that helps with anxiety too. But again, that's one thing where sometimes your anxiety can prevent you from doing art, and sometimes your anxiety can help you doing art. So I don't know. I can see it going both ways. Here I've got my foaming. Wait, where'd my thing go? I can see that going both ways. I can see that there would be times that you can't create art because of your depression or your anxiety. And then there are times when that actually helps. Okay, here I am, y'all. And of course, my boots smell like pig poop because I've been helping Liam with his pig. He spent the night at a friend's house the other night, and he's like, can you feed my pig? And I'm like, fine, whatever. I do love Winston. He's the sweetest little monkey. He's a funny guy, and he loves his back scratched. I need to put some more pictures of him up on the Instagram. If y'all aren't following me on Instagram, I think actually everybody who's here tonight is already following me on Instagram. At least the people in the chat. If you're lurking, subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram. So here I am cleaning my business. You know what? Things like cleaning my tack, that's another thing that anxiety would normally prevent me from doing. And depression, it'll make me not care. Like, who cares? I can not clean my boots. It'll be fine. So doing the live stream and doing Tack Chat was another way that I was sort of forcing myself to get over this and to face these things. Because sometimes with anxiety, I feel like the answer is to not do what's causing your anxiety. But sometimes the answer is to face it. And only you know what that is. Like, does that make sense? Was that even grammatically correct? Only you know the situation. God, how am I trying to say this? What am I trying to say? That was a big burp, y'all. I totally apologize. Anyway, anxiety. Okay, my point is, I totally got lost. Hang on, I got a drink. Anxiety is a double-edged sword that sometimes helps you do the things you love to do and sometimes stops you from doing the things you love to do. Or at least that's my experience. Hang on a second. I need to have a drink and like get a hold of myself. Some of y'all were saying, off topic now, some of y'all were saying you wanted me to knit a vest for Winston, the pig. And I don't know if I want to do that on the next live stream. I do want to make him a little unicorn horn, though. I don't think I want to do him one like I make my horses. I make my horses I carve the horns for my horses out of foam, and I coat them with plastic cream, and then I paint them and glitter them. They are all hand carved. They take a week or two to finish because things have to like dry between coats and stuff. They really are labors of love. I think Winston needs something a little bit simpler, like maybe a plush horn or something. I don't know. Like I've seen one, there's a picture online of some pig with like a hood that has a little horn coming out of it. Maybe I want to make Winston a little hat. Maybe I'll knit him a unicorn hat. Okay, I think so. Hang on, let me go back up here. Funny, Virtual Zookeeper says, it's funny we're talking about this today. In my class, we talked about student mental health, and my mom was talking about a neighbor who has a young child on anxiety meds. She started seeing things. Yes, there are so many medications nowadays for depression, anxiety, and different types of depression and anxiety that it can be a very long and frustrating process to find a medication that doesn't cause serious side effects that are deal breakers for you. And I think hallucinations would be a deal breaker for me. I don't know. That might be fun. I'm not making light of that child's experience. Please forgive me, y'all. Let me see. Hang on. Somebody broke their oh yeah, Britt had a broken pelvis. Broke my pelvic bone. Brittany, okay, let me take a moment. Brittany, my love, you have got to take care of yourself, my child. This girl, y'all who don't know Brittany, this child will work and work and work, despite her pain, despite her sickness. Child, please take care of yourself. I love you so much, Brittany. And sometimes I worry about you. Brittany has the stoicism of a draft horse. Those of you who know draft horses know mostly they don't complain. They can be dying and they won't even tell you. And that's kind of Brittany. Brittany has the constitution of a draft horse. She will just keep working, even if her leg falls off. And you have to watch people like that. Britt, I love you. Take care of yourself, my child. Whine or whine. I try not to whine, but sometimes I do. I can't help it. I can't. I'm sorry. Bud says, I need help in dealing with horses. I was thrown on a trail ride in the North Georgia area. Hang on. Mountains, and they sense my fear. I think they can. Horses can read body language. They're nonverbal communicators, and horses can really sense. They read your facial expressions. They read your body language. When I teach beginning students, the entire first lesson is about communication and how to approach horses and how they communicate. So it's not like they smell fear. I think I did a video about this. Can horses smell fear? Did I do a video last year? Oh my God. Maybe I did. I think I did. But they can't actually smell fear, but they can sense that you're nervous about something. And because they're herd animals, when one member of the herd is nervous about something, that means we all need to be nervous about something, and we might have to run. So run for your life. So a lot of times I will tell my students to try to, even when they're internally screaming, to make their facial expressions, their breathing, and their body language as calm as possible so they can fool the horse. Because if the horse sees that you're anxious, the horse wonders what the heck there is to be anxious about. They start looking around for the danger and for the predator. And then it's like a positive feedback loop. Once you get anxious, the horse gets anxious, which makes you more anxious, which makes the horse more anxious. And before you know it, we're all like, ah! So yes, do not create that positive feedback loop. Only broken, Grinios, I've only broken toes as well. I've never broken like an arm or a leg or anything like that. Oh my God, knock on wood. But toes, I can't stop breaking my toes. I think I've broken every single one of them at least once. It's ridiculous. Mountain Man says, love the artwork behind you. Check out KacyLatham.com. KacyLatham.com. Kacy Latham is a brilliant artist. This is not my artwork. Anybody joining us? I did not do this. I am not nearly this talented with a paintbrush. I can draw horses with a pencil. That's about the extent of my artwork. And I can make unicorn horns. But yes, I'm at the Art Lab in Munday, Texas, Munday. And my friend Casey, who has done all this artwork, she is on a mission to make her town the largest drive-through art gallery in the country. So she's putting up big murals all over town. It's really a cool project. So y'all check out CaseyLatham.com and see what she's up to. Or My Little Pony outfit with the horn, Brittany. Marvel says, I feel like there's no good bone to break when you ride horses since you need to keep almost everything right. I would agree with you. Marvel, I would love to meet you too. I love you. I love your artwork. You are the coolest dude, Marvel. So Virtual Zookeeper says, didn't have much pain after break. Phantom pains. Mm-hmm. Oh, Brittany, you've been taking better care of yourself. Good. I'm good. Yeah, sometimes you forget to drink water. People get mad. I forget to drink water. I don't think I've had a drink of water all day today. Today, I have been living on wine and Diet Dr. Pepper. Longtime subscribers know my addiction to Diet Dr. Pepper. You know what? I was wondering what time it is, and it's 8:46. Usually about 45 minutes into the live stream, I start wondering how much time is left. Deanna says, tuned out for a bit, broken almost every major bone in my body. Oh my gosh, girl. And Taylor says, phantom pains are the worst. Y'all, I need to oil my boots. I'm going to use olive oil. All my equestrian friends make fun of me because I use olive oil on my leather goods, my bridles and my boots and stuff. But honestly, oil is oil. If you use like some kind of like neat's foot oil or linseed oil or things like that, it's really the same. I mean, it's all just oil. And I will use olive oil because it's an oil that's really healthy for you, but it tends to go rancid at room temperature pretty quickly. So once it's gone rancid, you can't eat it. So what am I going to do with half a bottle of rancid olive oil? I'll condition my boots. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right, let's put some oil on these boots and oil them up. Who's still here in the chat? Who's still here in the chat? Deanna, you sound like Evel Knievel. You're right. Evel Knievel is not alive anymore. Is he? Evel Grinios, I think you are showing your age. You're my age, aren't you? I'm 46 years old, and I grew up watching Evel Knievel on TV doing his famous stunts. For those of you young people, y'all young folks, Marvel and Deanna and all the rest of y'all that are under 40, go, once we're done with the live stream tonight, on YouTube, look up Evel Knievel. Doesn't matter how you spell it. I'm sure it'll come up. It's not spelled like E-V-I-L, but anyway, he used to do all these amazing stunts on television. And it was like the coolest thing ever when I was little. Of course, like when I was little, like I said, I'm 46. So when I was little, there was no internet. There was just TV, and there was no TV on demand or anything like that. You had to look at the TV guide and see what time things were on and then tune in. And so there were shows like That's Incredible, where, you know, they'd show amazing feats of human whatever. But us older folks will know, will remember the good old days of TV when you had to know when something was coming on. You had to like plan your entire life on what was on TV. I can't do that tonight. The thing's on. My TV show's on. Nowadays, everybody watches things on streaming or have DVR or something like that. And you can watch shows whenever you want. Y'all don't know how spoiled you are. Anyway, I'm supposed to be talking about anxiety. Well, that's another thing that's supposed to exacerbate anxiety is like screen time. People say that you need to spend more time out in nature and outside, and that will help regulate your brain chemistry, your hormones, and things like that. I didn't even get to my bridals tonight, and I don't think I'm gonna. Virtual Zookeeper. Oh, Britt, you've never heard of Evel Knievel? Child, we need to get on that. He was like a big stunt person, and he did all these crazy stunts, like jumping a motorcycle over, 20 cars or whatever he did. I can't even remember now. But I remember watching TV and thinking that was the coolest thing. Virtual Zookeeper says, I'm sorry, I've been dominating the chat. Don't apologize. This is off topic. Does anyone have good resources about seizures in horses? Huh. My girl had a few seizures. It's been stressful. We don't know the cause at the moment. Huh. Interesting. I'm not sure. There are 2 groups that I'm on. Virtual Zookeeper, I don't know if you're on Facebook, but if you are, there are 2 Facebook groups. One is Horse Vet Corner. That's a group where only vets can comment, so you can ask questions and only veterinarians will give you responses. The other one is Horse Health Discussion. That one, you'll get a lot more different kinds of responses, but you kind of have to be careful, like what kind of... you have to be careful what advice you take, because you don't know who knows what they're talking about and who's just talking out their butt. Horse Health Discussion and Horse Vet Corner. Those are 2, like, I would ask for advice. Seizures in horses. I don't know much about that, to be honest. If I don't know something, I'm not going to BS y'all. I'm going to tell you I don't know, okay? Because with horses, y'all know, those of you who have horses, it's dangerous to say you know something when you don't know something. A horse will call you on your BS in a second. So I am not experienced in that area. Evil Knievel was the cool. Deanna, you are young, child. How do you know about Evil Knievel? Marvel says, I think I have an eating disorder. I hate the doctor, so I don't want to go for it. I did. Marvel, I think when I was about your age is when my eating disorder started. I dealt with bulimia in high school, where I would purge and then binge. I couldn't be anorexic because there's no way I'm not eating. So I was bulimic for a while. I would binge and purge, and it's a control method. What you're looking for is control in your life. And a lot of times when you're really young, your food choices are the one thing in your life that you have total control over. And so that is something that you really cling to. Getting help for it, like with anything else, the anxiety and the depression and everything else, getting help for it can trigger more mental health episodes. So I'm here. I feel you. I understand. Dude, I get it. It's difficult. Don't give up, though. Please don't give up. There is light at the end of the tunnel, and you can find help. I don't know if you're discussing this with other family members, but I would strongly suggest that you find a family member that you trust. It doesn't have to be your mom or your dad. It can be another family member, an aunt or an uncle, grandmother, grandfather, cousin, somebody that you trust that you can tell about your eating disorder and say, hey, I need help, but I'm not sure how to go about doing this, because it really is important that you get help. Not because like you're an awful person or anything, but because getting professional help, there are professionals that like went to school to know how to deal with this. So hang on a second. So there will be a part of you that's like, oh, what can they do for me? But people really can help you. All right. Britt says, be right back. Hang on. Check the live chat. If you're watching the playback, give me a second. Grandia says, using your Instapot. I don't have one of those. I feel like everybody has an Instapot except me. Grandia says, maybe Liam should start meditating. You know what? That's a great idea. He might really get into that. My husband is big on meditation. Scott, who you met earlier in the live stream, he's big on meditation, and meditation can be difficult for me. Excuse me. But Scott's one of those that can like be still and meditate for a long time. Deanna says, I hang out with older people, 40s being some of the youngest people I kept company with. They're much wiser and way more enjoyable to be around. Oh, girl, I get it. I'm so wise. Do you know what, though? Okay, real talk. Okay, off the subject of anxiety, off the subject of everything else. when I was in my 20s, one of my best friends was in her 40s, and she was so wonderful. And she was the one who just showed me that if you are a young woman, one of the best things you can do for yourself is have an older woman friend, a woman in her 40s or her 50s. Women in their 40s or their 50s, we have been around the block, y'all, okay? We know about money, we know about relationships, we know about sex, we know about men and women, we know about careers, we know about everything. We have had some sort of experience with just about everything, and we will tell it to you straight because we're too old for the BS. So I would say yes, Deanna, if a lot of your friends are older, then girl, you are doing it right. What time is it, y'all? 8:55? I gotta get my boots oiled. Oh my goodness. And I like lose track of which one. Okay, I can kind of tell though which one's been oiled and which one hasn't. Y'all, I'm supposed to be cleaning my tack and I'm ending up chatting too much. This is why I need a co-host to like remind me of the things I'm supposed to be doing. I miss Adriana. I don't know if you're watching tonight, Adriana, but I miss you so much. And Catherine, if you've watched some of my old live streams, when Adriana couldn't do it, Catherine was like always my backup, and she was always there. Like every time I was like, you guys, I don't have Adriana can't do it. What am I going to do? Catherine was always like, I got you. I'm going to be there. So I miss that. That's one of the things too that has been triggering my anxiety here is that I've lost all my horse friends. In Savannah, I had a pretty tight circle of horse friends. They weren't all like boarding. I didn't see them every day, but they were there. They were there for me, like Adriana and Catherine and my friend Amy and the people that were at my barn at Chimney Field. And so I had like a circle, and here I have art friends here, and I have friends here, and I have family here in Texas, but I don't know a lot of horse people yet here in Texas. And it's been a little difficult for my anxiety because I feel that absence. I feel that hole in my life that needs to be filled. I need to meet people. I don't have any extra equestrian friends right here. I don't know. I need people. Y'all, I need you. If you're in the Knox County area and you are a horse person and you like things like unicorns and nerdy things and creating stuff and art, then please reach out to me. My gosh, because I need fresh horse friends here in Texas. I'm missing my horse friends from Georgia like crazy, y'all. And if I'm not careful, I'm going to cry again. All right, hang on. I am oiling my boots with my beautiful purple cloths that I got at the Dollar General. All right, I've got my boots clean, and honestly, that was my big goal tonight. I didn't do my bridles. Like, here's Weasley's bridle. I didn't even get to that. That's not happening. Our Texas bridle is down here somewhere. I didn't even get to that tonight. But we're at 8:58. Let me check the chat and make sure I have gotten to everybody's questions and talked to everybody. I love y'all. Thank you for showing up. Those of you that have been here tonight. I honestly, one of my biggest fears when I started these live streams, one of my biggest anxieties was that nobody would show up. And I would be sitting here with my butt hanging out and nobody going on. Gotta go to bed, Marvel. Love you so much. Good night. Let's see. I hope that helps you, Zookeeper. Facebook account. Hang on. Oh, Britt says head trauma is the most likely origin of seizure in the equine. Interesting. Let's see. Late 20s and above, Grineo says. Meditation is nice. So, yes, let's see. The points of tonight. Let's see. Sleep well, Marvel. Good night. Okay, hang on. Virtual Zookeeper says, we have found white paint on shavings, but the vet ignored it when we told her. And I know the vet knows best, but I was a little offended, so we might have them tested. Deanna says, y'all don't forget that horses with impressive, who is a particular horse, in their bloodlines often have seizures because of PSSM, I believe. Yeah, there are neurological disorders that horses can get. I didn't mean to do this. There are neurological problems that horses can get. But yeah, and with the vet, you can get a second opinion. And if your vet is offended by that, you need a new vet. With anything else, like me as a trainer, or as a riding instructor, when I have students who go to other barns, I love that. Yes, please go to another barn. A riding instructor should never be offended if their student goes to another trainer. Just like doctors and vets should never be offended if you need a second opinion on your horse. These are very important. If your vet gets offended or upset that you want a second opinion, that is an ego problem that's a red flag for me. So I would absolutely check in the Facebook groups, Virtual Zookeeper, and maybe find another vet. Not that you need to replace your vet, but find another vet who can maybe give you another opinion so that you can have a more complete picture of what's going on with your mare. I think it was a mare you said. So, oh, a Virtual Zookeeper almost right above Savannah. Oh, you're in South Carolina, right? Oh, Dr. Carter. Yes, y'all, please. Thank you, Britt, for sharing resources with the chat. I really appreciate that. My favorite vet in the Savannah area is Dr. Reese Myron, M-Y-R-A-N. Virtual Zookeeper, I don't know if he will travel to South Carolina, but if you call Dr. Reese Myron, he will absolutely be able to recommend another vet to you. He is fantastic. He took care of my horses for 3 years in Savannah, and I believe he is the best vet in the Low Country. So if he can't help you, he'll help you find someone who can. And again, no shade to your vet. You can keep your vet forever and ever. We totally got off the subject of anxiety, didn't we, y'all? Oh, used him a couple times. Dr. Emily Mitchum. Talked to Dr. Carter. I love y'all. Y'all, this is so good. All right, so what we went over tonight was anxiety. It is, if you're still here with me, thank you so much. Anxiety and depression are different for everyone. Sometimes it means you have a hard time doing things with your horses. Sometimes it means your horses give you the strength to do the things you need to do. The point is, medicated, unmedicated, self-care practices, whatever you do, I support you in your journey, and I'm here for you. You guys can message me on Facebook or Instagram or here on YouTube, leave a comment. And like I said, I'm not an expert, but I am here to support you and give you words of encouragement because I'm here too with you guys. So thank you. Who was here tonight? Bud showed up, Deanna, Taylor, Brittany, Virtual Zookeeper, Gryneos, Marvel, all you guys. I don't know if Zadel was here tonight. Zadel, if you were here tonight, you did not speak up in the chat. But you're usually here. I'm trying to think who else was here. I hope I'm not forgetting anybody. But I love y'all so much. I'm going to close down the chat right now. I got my boots oiled and cleaned, and I'm going to go back out to my property and go hang out with my husband, who I haven't seen for like 3 weeks. So you guys, good mental health to you. Take care of yourselves, please. I love you guys so, 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 so much. And I will see you in the next video and in the next live stream. Next week on the Tuesday night live stream, I think we're going to be making a unicorn horn for Winston. So Winston the pig. My pigicorn. Unipig? Pigicorn? I'm not sure what it would be. Anyway, we'll figure it out and we'll do that next week. So thank you so much for joining me this week and love you guys. Bye.